back to the modeling thing, right? Like, what is my child taking out of this? Because I've had conversations with my mother-in-law on how the men in the house are taken care of. For lack of a better word, like, how do we train the men in the house to be better?
So your question was how the mother-in-laws took care of their own son.
Their own son, because that will also play out in the expectation of the mother or the woman plays. When I realized there are two types, like when you say, oh, it's dinner time, right? There are two types of guys, I realized. One will go and take a seat at the dining table. The other will walk into the kitchen. And if you go to one of our family functions, all the men are seated down and all the women walk to the kitchen. It's cultural. It's damn amazing. Yeah, correct. So, and I realized, never, and then, so after dinner, they'll be having conversations at the table, whiskey and everything gets poured. And then the women have conversations while doing dishes, lah. And it's a cultural thing, lah. Yeah. It's not a bad thing or whatsoever.
Yeah.
But, I'm just thinking about it now. That intergenerational, like that modeling.
Growing up, right, my dad was always very hands-on. So I kind of expected that in my husband as well. Mm-hmm. So when Vinod was at his own mom's place, I guess the mom treats both her children very well. She pampers for them.
Boy or girl, like
son or daughter, both get equal treatment and all that.
Yeah.
But I guess also Vinod knew the difference between a mom and a wife. You get what I mean? A mom pampers you, but you cannot expect your wife to do the same. That's really just the wrong mindset to come into a marriage with, right? That's what I believe in. So,
was his mom full-time?
Yeah, she was a housewife. Right? Yeah. So she cooked, she cleaned, he didn't really have to do a lot of those things for himself. But when he came into our house, he actually did all those things, like without even me asking him to. So I guess that was quite good in that sense. Maybe cooking, no, not really. But even at the start, he attempted to, but it was a failure. So, so cooking, he kind of realized. Yeah. So I guess he knew the difference. But I guess when their mindset doesn't change and they come in expecting the same sort of treatment, then that's when the problem starts. Yeah, you have to know.
Yeah. I think for me, it's interesting because my mom was also like a full-time housewife. So my dad was a breadwinner, right? So I guess in that sense, it was very clear who is supposed to do what.
Okay.
So at home, she does the cleaning and stuff. And she was very smart. She delegated it to me the moment I could take over that responsibility. So then I became the one who's like cleaning the house, preparing a lot of things, washing the dishes and stuff. But what has an effect on me is that I hate taking care of people. Okay. I felt very irritated that I had to take care of people, and I feel like why can't people just wash their own dishes? Like, why do they clean up after everyone? I naturally do it. I want to do it. But the moment I feel I'm being taken advantage of, I feel very like short-circuit. Yeah, I feel so like upset about it. On his side, his mom was a career woman. So they had a helper at home. So it's a bit different as well. When you have a helper, you also don't really see your mom doing a lot of those things. Of course, she still manages your household, she can cook and stuff like that. But your day-to-day, someone else is cooking and serving you and washing your dishes. Or maybe he does his own dishes or whatever. But there's someone to do that, right? So it's also quite hard because then I realized right now, when I have a child at home and I have a helper, he's going to see the same thing. Right? Simple things like, do you know how to cook rice, or do you even put your laundry in the basket? Because your helper won't scold you if you don't do it. Maybe they'll just pick it up. Maybe your mom would discipline you a bit more. But that is because it's your mom's responsibility to discipline you, to help you make sure that you're equipped with those skills. But maybe a helper will just pick it up without even noticing it. I think that's on us then to tell our child like this is the kind of behavior you should have. We still should do some general, maybe basic house cleaning or once a week or something.
That is something that I'm definitely very conscious. If daddy doesn't do it, doesn't mean that it is okay not to do it. Small things are
very good.
So small things like bringing your plates back to the kitchen.
Yes.
When he comes back from school, it's not okay for the socks to be everywhere, or like small things like that. And he will point out, to say that but daddy's shoes are there, or daddy's what is there, right? And then I said, okay, then let's help daddy do what, right? So he will point out to my husband, he's like, hey daddy, you left your shoes there. And even for my in-laws, right? 10 years ago and now, completely different mindset.
Do you think that it's a parent's responsibility to equip the child with life skills to manage their own homes?
Yeah. For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I tell Jacob this all the time. Like mama's job here is not just to take care of you, right? But it's to teach you how to take care of yourself.
Okay, and your definition of this life skills of taking care of yourself in terms of home, what is it? It would be
a bit on the fence with this because I grew up with a helper all my life.
Yeah.
My dishes were always washed for me. I didn't do it on my own. Like my laundry was always done for me. I didn't do it on my own. But I also felt that my parents have taught me that when I go to someone else's house, I can't expect this. You know, I have to wash my own plates. Or when I move into my own place, I have to do this. Life skills like cooking rice or like boiling it, it was never taught to me. So until I moved out, right, I didn't know how to cook. Like, of course, I went overseas to study, so that helped a bit. But even then, I wouldn't say it's full on, you know, because you do takeouts and whatnot, right? So when I shifted out, that's when I really learned how to be responsible. So I guess, like, imparting life skills, I didn't get it for myself. So how much of importance will I give it for my child? I will do the basics, like putting a laundry into the basket or maybe getting them to wash a plate once in a while. But whether it will be on a regular daily basis, I feel like if I teach them to be responsible, it will naturally come. Whether it's something I'll actively do, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's quite important to be able to find joy in the mundane. I have a lot of trouble with it, like quite honestly. But like small things, like for example, how I try to do is that when I come home from work, the helper preps the ingredients, but I come home and I cook right?
Correct,
So then when I cook, right, Jacob is next to me and he helps to pour in eggs or something like that. So now what happens, right, is that he's got this like innate curiosity and he will ask you when he eats a dish, like, how is this dish made?
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because now he's starting to compute in his head. Oh, like this one has been added, this one, what is this taste? And to me, it's not just like on cooking, it's having a better palate. It's a bit of an introduction into sort of like the adult world as well, you know. And he would ask like, oh, when I'm 5 years old, can I do this? When I'm 6 years old, can I do that? So cause like there's only so many activities we can do at home. So so it's something quite important, I think, to me.
I really like what you said. So right now I'm thinking, firstly, I think we're going to expose our kids to the kind of chores or house responsibilities or based on what we like as well. So for example, you like cooking. So naturally you'll be exposing him to that, right? And then like if someone enjoys cleaning or dusting or vacuuming, then maybe they will get their child, I don't know, like the toy Dyson.
I'm sure
or like those baby brooms or whatever that I've seen like in some of my friends' houses. I think what you said makes a lot of sense in terms of like, at the end of the day, I feel like if the child is equipped of knowing how to be resourceful or knowing how to be responsible, they'll figure things out. So that's why you say you were brought up in a home, you didn't have to do any of it. But you know, when I live in my house, it's common sense. I have to survive. I'll go Google it, right? Like, like seriously, go and ask your parent or your friend or go online. I think it just depends on whether a person is like sensible to just step up.
Correct.
Villagekins!